Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is IELTS ASR. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you how I got my 8.5 in my IELTS listening. Okay, we're gonna do the map now, IELTS listening map, and I'm gonna teach you the steps and the tips I use that helped me to ace IELTS. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna do the map. Okay, now this map is a question type that has gotten so many people below band 6. Yeah, because they don't understand concepts, they don't understand anything about the map. Sometimes the audio plays faster than you, so you miss the answer because you're still thinking of where they are. You don't know the location they are. But don't worry, I got you covered. I'm gonna let you know the step-by-step approach. How do you approach this map? How do you solve this map effectively? Okay, so please grab a cup of coffee and let's go there. Okay, this question type, IELTS map, often appears in the section 2. Okay, sometimes you can find it in the section 3. Now in the section 2, you often hear one person speaking about it. Okay, it might be related to a tour, or maybe you have an excursion and they are trying to tell people how the places, how the environment is, and the places that you can find in the environment. So these are the things you can get there. So in some maps, you're given a list of words and you are expected to get some words to fill in the blank spaces. Okay, so your ability to listen and listen very well will help you very well in this IELTS map. Okay, first I'm going to give you the tips that will help you to score a high band in this IELTS map. Okay, so one of the tips I'm going to tell you today is to read instructions carefully. Okay, so now reading instruction is a helpful method that will help you. If you're fond of skipping the instruction because you're trying to know if you can go to the questions first, you might miss some salient points. So you have to read instruction, because this is where they will tell you you have to write one word, you have to write 2 words and a number, you have to write 3 words. This is where you get to know your word count. So how do you know that if you don't read the instructions? Guys, please do not fail to read instructions. Know the vocabulary of the location. Okay, you need to know the important words used to describe some locations. Okay, they will often say it. They can say in the north, south, east, at the other side, on top, at the bottom. So they will often say some things like this. So listen for the phrases, listen very well, and listen effectively. In some map, they will have like a cardinal points. They may not write it completely. They might just write a line and put an N on top. That will show you that they have to use the cardinal points here. You're gonna be listening. You're gonna listen for the north. You're gonna listen for at the southern part, or the northern part, or the western part. These are the things you're gonna listen. Okay, sometimes they don't put that there. They'll just use at the bottom, at the top. So you have to pay attentively to this. Okay, identify where the number starts and where it finishes. Okay, so some of them, the first number might start at the top, while some, the first number might start at the bottom. For example, this one, you can see that number 15 is actually at the top. Okay, so you should know that the next one, after mentioning number 15, the next one they should mention is number 16. So you should look at it that way, because it follows closely. Okay, they cannot mention number 15 and go over to number 18. So if you find number 15, just know that the next one they're going to talk about is number 16. Okay, so it follows that way. So it is very important that you find out where they are starting for, where the numbers are starting first and where it finishes. Okay, predict the answer. Okay, you're given some minutes to look at the question. Okay, so for example, it might be given like 1 minute. You have 1 minute to look at the question. Utilize that minute. This is the time you have to take a close look at the question. You are trying to identify the starting point. You're trying to locate the finish. You're trying to know the areas close your blank space. So this is where you know so many things. So please pay attention to it, and that will give you a clue of if they are looking for, if you're expected to find a house or a room, and help you to predict and know what you're expected to write in the answer. Look at 2 questions at once. Okay, this works for me not only in the listening but also in the reading. Okay, when I look at 2 questions at once, I'll be able to concentrate on the first question while still bearing the second question in mind. For example, I have like number 15 and number 16. I read number 15, I also read number 16. So if I am looking for, I'll be able to know when they have passed number 15. For example, if I get the answer of number 16 first, I should know that they've already talked about number 15. So it helps me get concentrated and focused. So in doing this, you really have to pay attention. You have to understand, you have to focus. If you're thinking of any other thing before you're listening, please forget about it and focus on your listening. Listening requires rapt attention. You have to be focused when you're doing your listening, no matter the question type in the listening. Then when it comes to the map reading, then you should know that you really need to focus, because this is what really fails some people most. Okay, please pay attention closely to the audio and the question. Look at 2 questions once. You're thinking of the first one, you're also thinking of the second one. Okay, but you're paying close attention to the first one. If you say the second one, then you know that you passed the first one. So do not dwell on anyone. Now, you are not expected to play back. In fact, it is not played back for you. It is not played back for anybody. The audio just keeps going for everybody. So even while you're practicing, you are not advised to repeat. Now, what am I saying in essence? You have to pay attention to any other clues. Okay, now what do I mean by this? You will often say maybe a room, you can see a library, you can see a station. For example, this particular question, you have a station before number 15. So you know that the station will be mentioned before you hear number 15. So it helps you to know when you are approaching the answer. Okay, so please note the locations or the things nearby. There are some silent clues, there are some important clues that might be nearby that will help you to get the answer right. Okay, so look at it carefully and know when that is called. Okay, know when that is called, because when you hear that, then you should know that you are approaching your answer. You're expected to go over to your answers and check for spellings. If you spelled words correct, okay, you look at it carefully, because any wrong spelling attracts penalties. You're gonna be penalized for any wrong spellings. Okay, these are the things you're gonna do when you are given time to look at your answers, because at the end of the audio, you are given some time to look at the answers. You're looking for wrong spellings and you're trying to correct them. Okay, do not do that when you're listening to the audio, because when thinking of correct spellings, you might miss some answers. So you have to do that at the end of the audio when you have the time to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna play an audio and we're going to do it out together. Okay, I'll do that using these tips and you see how it worked for me. Then I'll give you something to do and you drop the answers in the comment section. Okay,
you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20.
So now you have to look at questions 16 to 20 and you underline keywords. So you have to underline starting points, working the verbs, you have to underline the ball and the arrow display, you have to underline hunting birds, okay, hunting birds. You have to underline dancing, traditional dancing, and shop. So these are the things you have to check. You know the starting point, this is the main entrance, that is your starting point.
Now listen
for
and answer
north,
questions
west,
16 to 20.
Okay? Listen attentively.
Now, if you can take a look at your plans, you'll see Branley Castle has 4 towers joined together by a high wall with the river on 2 sides.
Okay.
Don't miss seeing the Great Hall.
Okay.
That's near the river in the main tower, the biggest one, which was extended and redesigned in the 18th century. If you want to get a good view of the whole castle, you can walk around the walls. The starting point's quite near the main entrance. Walk straight down the path until you get to the south gate, and it's just there. Don't go on to the north gate. There's no way up from there. There'll shortly be a show in which you can see archers displaying their skill with a bow and arrow. The quickest way to get there is to take the first left after the main entrance and follow the path past the bridge. Then you'll see it in front of you at the end. If you like animals, there's also a display of hunting birds, falcons and eagles and so on. If you go from the main entrance in the direction of the south gate, but turn right before you get there instead of going through it, you'll see it on your right, past the first tower. At 3 p.m, there's a short performance of traditional dancing on the outdoor stage. That's right at the other side of the castle from the entrance and over the bridge. It's about 10 minutes walk or so. And finally, the shop. It's actually inside one of the towers, but the way in is from the outside. Just take the first left after the main entrance, go down the path and take the first right. It's got some lovely gifts and souvenirs. Right, so we're just arriving.
Okay guys, so you can see now, you can see how we got the answers. It is so easy when you know this keyword. Okay, now like I said, when you are given that time to look at the questions, please utilize it. Do not just stay. There are so many things to do when you're with that few minutes or 30 seconds given to you. You can see how we quickly went to the keyword from number 16 to number 20. We noted the keyword. You already know the main entrance. You have a look at the main entrance. You've already known that there are 4 towers. You can see there are 4 things there. You can see that even while they were playing, they kept on mentioning at the right, at the left, at the north, at the south. So these are the vocabularies that will help you a lot. Okay, that will help you a lot. You should know just when they said beside, just past the northern pole, or just before the northern pole, or before the first tower. These are the vocabularies you should look out for. These are the vocabularies. So you shouldn't do anything but just concentrating on the audio and your question. Then after that, with the 2 minutes of time given to look at your overall section 2 or overall question, you should check everything. Check whether you write in some words. Check all your sections, the main section you've written. You're checking for errors. For example, there are some maps that you have to write down something, not just alphabet. And there you have to check if you're right, if the spellings are correct. You have to check if you've mistakenly written something else that shouldn't be the answer. You also have to check if you've written more than the word count. So these are the things that you should check. Okay, so now I'm going to give you play an audio, another map, and I will let you listen to it and put down your answers. I'll go over to the comments and check for your answers, and I'll give you the correct ones if you are wrong. Okay, I just hope you get it. Okay,
well, here we are at the top of the tower, and we're going to look at the view.
Okay, now before I play this, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to look at the question. Okay, to know what you're going to write there. Just check. Remember what we said before, you have to note keyword. So now we have expected to write 2 words, no more than 2 words. Okay, so you shouldn't write 3 words. You should make sure you are writing no more than 2 words. So you should know the starting point. Okay, so you check the starting point and check where they are going, and remember to concentrate. Okay.
Well, here we are at the top of the tower, and we're going to look at the view from each direction. Out to the east, the large buildings about 1 kilometre away are on the Olympic site. There's an indoor arena for gymnastics, a stadium for track and field, and a swimming pool for races and synchronised swimming, and also diving. If you look carefully down there, you can see the train lines. The Olympic site has its own station to encourage the use of public transport, There is also a car park, but it only holds a limited number of cars. The formal park has some specially created water features. If you look out here to the south, you can see a circular ornamental pond. And around to the west, you can relax and sit on a bench to smell the flowers in the rose garden. And finally, up to the north, if you look in front of you now, there's a lake with a small island in the centre. You can hire rowing boats at the boat shed, which you can't see from here. But if you look through the trees, you can see the cafe, which has lovely views across the water. Okay, let's climb down now. We will go now and have a look at the nature reserve section of the park, which has opened up natural wetland to the public.
Thank you guys for watching. I just hope you learned something. Please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel, I'm begging you. Please subscribe to my channel, okay? Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Next time when we'll be doing another listening, I promise to do maybe multiple choice or anything that you think. Just write in the comment section, whatever section that you think you find difficult, just write in the comment section and I promise to do that, okay?